Many thousands of acres of eastern North Carolina used to look like this sandy pine savanna. That's no longer the case. Zach West coordinates the management of this habitat. Without fire, the very rare and biodiverse plants that grow here would be lost. Welcome to Shaken Creek Preserve, inside the 36th Biodiversity Hotspot. To get to the entrance to Shaken Creek, Zach must first navigate a precarious 3-mile-long dirt road. In February 2016, the North American coastal plain was named the world's 36th biodiversity hotspot. A biodiversity hotspot is a geographic region that is home to over 1,500 native vascular plants and is under threat from humans, with over 70% of the habitat gone. Shaken Creek Preserve is an important part of the North Carolina coastal plain hotspot.
The gates are locked at Shaken Creek Preserve because there are some plants here that people like to poach, like the Venus flytraps.
Shaken Creek Preserve is just over 6,000 acres of protected longleaf pine ecosystems.
This sandy pine savanna is unique because it has very little mid-story. It was also burned last year, and you can see the wiregrass has gone to seed, which will only occur if it's burned during the growing season.
Frequent fire or prescribed burns are an important tool for managing the forests in Shaken Creek.
And the natural fire regime for these longleaf pine areas is 1 to 5 years.
It's critical for light to hit the forest floor if native plant species are to grow and thrive. The tops of these longleaf pines, called the canopy, are sparse and thus let light through. In this savanna, the light travels freely to the ground unhindered by any small trees and thick shrubs in the mid-story, the area between the ground and the canopy. It's easy to see what happens if a forest is not managed with fire.
So this is a fire-suppressed site, which means natural fires were put out. If sites are not allowed to burn, the mid-story starts to grow up and it shades out a lot of the understory, which is where a lot of the biodiversity in the longleaf pine system is.
About a half a mile from the fire-suppressed site is this wet loamy pine savanna, one of the most important and unique in Shaken Creek Preserve and in the entire North American coastal plain region.
So the nickname for this site is the Holy Grail, and that's because it's a very special plant community.
Longleaf pine ecosystems like Shaken Creek contain some of the highest levels of plant biodiversity in a small area of anywhere on the planet.
In this rough 1 square meter, we have Venus flytrap, spoonleaf sundew, 1 species of grass pink orchid.
If we were to draw a 1 meter by 1 meter box on the ground, we would likely be able to count more plant species within the box than we could had we drawn that box almost anywhere else in the world. The rich and abundant plant life in the savanna would not be possible without regular prescribed burns to control the light-blocking mid-story.
The last burn at this site was about 3 months ago, and you can see within 3 months all the lush green regrowth.
Frequent prescribed fire promotes the open savanna structure of the longleaf pine habitats. This, in turn, promotes the rich diversity of native plants.
Without management, Shaken Creek Preserve would lose some of its very rare, important plant communities and plant species. Some of these communities and plants are only found in a few locations in the world. and without management they would be lost.